Hi everyone, it's Larry Cole again, and thanks for stopping by. This is another of my series of shop talks about anti-counterfeit technologies. Today's topic is going to be around the relationship of immutable chain of ownership and how that relates to the value propositions of anti-counterfeit technology networks. So I'll start with what I define as a blockchain as an immutable, unchangeable digital ledger. And then once you put a transaction or information onto this digital ledger, it can't be undone, nor can it be overwritten. So that's a very novice way of describing it, but that's a blockchain. So I'm just looking down at my desk right now, and just to give you an example, I've got a blue pen in my hand right now, and if I was to give this blue pen a serial number, and I was going to reference that on a template, and then it was going to be shipped to Toronto, and then from Toronto it was going to go out to Walmart, and it was going to have compliance and safety and taxation information that's all available in that blockchain for this pen. That has now become an immutable chain of information about this pen. And if you take it to the next step, there is no, and I repeat, there is no limit. It's infinite, the amount of information you can put in a blockchain. And as a matter of fact, the more information you put in there, the better, because it makes it much harder to replicate that information if you had more and more and more information. So I just want to step back for a moment, and I'm going to call that data. And now the reference to data, flat data, is it's only useful if you can do something with it all. So, in one of my previous episodes, I talked about 4D blockchain that we've developed at Anti-counterfeit Technologies. And just to review, the first dimension is the blockchain. The second dimension is templating, infinite templating. Number 3 is structure and language. And number 4 is storage and security. Those are the 4 dimensions of our particular blockchain. So this is how it's all going to dovetail into this immutable chain of ownership. If we could take all of that information and we could make the information readily accessible anywhere in the world to the right person at the right time, we've now taken flat data and we've made it useful. And we made it actually very valuable. But again, I think examples are a great way to go about explaining how these two things are important. So I'm going to take lettuce that's grown in a field in California, and you've started to develop an immutable chain of ownership by putting a molecular marker into the batch of lettuce, and then you've bagged it. And on that bag, you might have a UPC code, you might have a hologram, you might have special ink, and then you've shipped it to wherever it's going to go, and then it ends up in a store. And then I'm a consumer now, and I've taken my phone, and I'm sitting at the store, and I know that if I scan that bag of lettuce, I'm going to get information, consumer information. What's the expiry date? Where was it? Where did it come from? What's the provenance of it? Provenance meaning history. So I can get all that information, and I go ahead and make that purchase. So now I've taken it home. Here's where the value propositions really kick in. So now I've got that bag of lettuce sitting in my fridge. 2 weeks pass. I take my phone back out, and I think I'm getting close to the expiry date. Can't find it on there. My eyes are bad. Don't have my glasses. Whatever. So I go ahead and scan it, and a big red flag comes up. And the red flag comes up and says, "This bag has been recalled." Okay, it's been recalled. Now, how do we know that? Well, somebody with this device, we don't know it was you, but somebody with this device standing in a certain store scanned it once and then scanned it again. And they need to know that that bag of lettuce has been recalled. The only way that you can do that quickly and efficiently is to be able to have all that information sitting in a blockchain and have it sitting in a 4-dimensional blockchain. So it's getting out quickly to the person it belongs to. So I'll give you another example, because and this is a quick one. It's the same thing with medicine. Say you bought a bottle of Tylenol. Let's take it to a different direction. And you're going to scan that bottle of Tylenol, and you're at home, and in your app that you're using to scan, you have put information about yourself in there, the other kinds of pills you take. So the second you scan that bottle of Tylenol, it might say that it's going to interact with these other medicines you're taking. This is all the kind of information that could be sitting on these infinite templates, and the kind of information that can interact with a consumer, the kind of information that can interact with a manufacturer, or they can do it together. You know, this is powerful stuff now. This is taking it from a one dimension, and we are now becoming asset managers out to the consumer, and the consumer's then flipping the information back. So that's the relationship between immutable chain of ownership, all of those pieces of information that are all strung together, that nobody's broken. It makes it very hard to counterfeit. But more importantly, you are spreading information very quickly, and it's information that the consumer can use, the manufacturer can use, the government can use. That's how I see it. That's how I explain it. There's much more to it, but I think that you get the gist of where I'm going with it today. If you had any questions, I'd love to answer them. If you have any comments, love to read them. Leave it all below. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and I always appreciate it. So thank you. Bye-bye.